I've talked a few times about foundational and cellular health, and I've found some people don't quite get how they can apply it in their everyday lives. So I figured that I would take some time to expand a bit more about what cellular health actually is and why it is so important that you know how to put it into practice. When we usually think about health, we think about the most obvious parts of our bodies, usually the ones that will cause obvious problems when something goes wrong. The heart, the brain, the lungs, the skin, without thinking about the next level, the cells that actually make up our heart, brain, skin, lungs, and the rest of our bodies. Because they all need to work together. Each cell is dependent upon other cells in other systems to do its job and communicate and collaborate. We don't feel these processes and often don't realize our cells are not working properly until major illness or disease sets in. Unfortunately, many of the life stages we consider as a normal part of aging are in fact signs of cell degeneration and distress. Our cells should work properly on their own. Unfortunately, high-stress lifestyles, processed foods, chemicals, and excessive use of prescription drugs bombard our cells and make it difficult for these tiny yet essential parts of our body to perform properly. They are, after all, what our bodies are made of. So, what are some of the things that we can do to improve or maintain cellular health? For the most part, there's no secret knowledge here. The usual things apply, the things that you already know. But knowledge is a funny thing. There are a lot of things we think we know, but when it comes to explaining them suddenly, it's not so easy. How a computer or the internet works, how does an aeroplane fly? But these are things we don't need to know. Someone else does the knowing for us. And when it comes to our bodies, we have a choice. Let someone else look after it, usually a doctor. And when you see a doctor, it's usually a sign that something has gone badly wrong. And while it might be annoying when it comes to getting someone to fix your computer, there's a lot more at stake when it comes to getting someone to fix your body. So we can wait until something goes wrong and call a doctor, or learn a few things that will help us do it ourselves and maintain cellular health. The good news is, most of these are things that you already know in theory. The difficulty comes in putting them into practice. I'll do my best to help with some of the issues that you may not be familiar with, and I will also try and reinforce some which you are familiar with. Let's start with staying hydrated. Sound simple? Cells are primarily made up of water. The brain and the heart are composed of 73% water, and the lungs are about 83% water. The skin contains 64% water, muscles and kidneys are 79%, and even the bones are water at 31%. So water is important, and even more important as we age. When we are born, approximately 75% of our body is water, and by the time we reach middle age, our body's water content can be as low as 50%. There are a few reasons for this. One is that your gut plays an essential part in making sure your body gets enough water. The water that you drink goes into your intestines and needs to transfer from the intestinal linings into your cells through the bloodstream. So why do people have issues with hydration, even though they might drink heaps of water? As we age, our cells' ability to absorb water weakens, so just increasing your water intake isn't enough to keep your cells hydrated. It needs to be supplemented with other nutrients and fiber. Eating cucumber, celery, apples, watermelon, iceberg lettuce, leafy greens and fruits, along with other healthy fats, soups, bone broths, coconut water and sea salt can all help with absorption. But how much water do we need to avoid things like headaches, brain fog, fatigue, lack of energy that come when we don't get enough water? This will vary from person to person, and your body will generally tell you, so you should always listen to your body. Some people never go anywhere without their water bottle on hand. They're everywhere, in school bags, desktops, cars. When I was growing up, there wasn't this fixation with water. I did fine without a water bottle, although I must confess that in my younger days I would fast for 1 day a week and drink only distilled water for the day. I would carry a half-gallon jar with me filled with distilled water on that day wherever I went. It was hard to get distilled water in those days. I had to go to a laboratory to get it. Things are different now to when I was doing that almost 60 years ago. We now live in a different environment, mostly indoors, in cars, offices, and sealed homes. All things that are very dehydrating. We also eat a lot less fresh food and substitute foods that dehydrate us. Many take medications that dehydrate us further, and we are subjected to hot lighting and ever more present electronic devices. So it is really important to keep up a decent input of water throughout the day. Yes, I know that it can get a bit boring and there are lots of opinions out there as to how much water you should drink a day. All I would say about the quantity is listen to your body. It will tell you if you're not drinking enough. Another indicator is the color of your urine. The clearer it is, the more likely you are at optimal hydration levels. It doesn't have to be all just water. I personally get a lot of my water from drinking very weak tea, no milk, and definitely no sugar. I don't like coffee, I never have, but it can still contribute to your water intake if you're a coffee drinker. Just keep the sugar out of it. Just one parting thought for the day. Don't drink tap water. I never have and never will unless I'm forced to. Tap water is full of contaminants and added chemicals. In some areas, both fluoride and chlorine are added, both bad chemicals for our health. I use either distilled water or reverse osmosis water or run it through a quality water filter to remove those chemicals, including lead, which can find its way into the water supply from the water pipes. This is really important. If you're using distilled water or reverse osmosis, you should ensure that you supplement with a good quality mineral supplement, as those systems will also remove minerals from the water. Of course, water and hydration are an important start on the journey to cellular health. I will talk more about the other things in future videos. In the meantime, it'd be great if you could take a moment to leave a comment or subscribe to this channel using the link below. And talk soon.